Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to visit us tonight. I will get to that in just a moment. I need to open up a different browser. There it is. Looks like Chubbs is live right now. Well, that's what it's telling me. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's correct. Well, you'd think since I just opened it up, it should be correct. Yes, Chubbs is running right now. So, how is your day going, Kevin? Tired. Yeah, we were on pretty late last. I finally went to bed around 4:30. There we go. 2:30. 30. Yeah, but it was really nice having Mary John last night. Yeah, well, we had a few interesting people come up on screen afterwards, so yeah. Yes, we had some really good conversations. What did you get? Oh, does he respond well to the clicker style training? Well, he is a food-driven dog. I have one cat that I could get to do almost anything if I'm going to give her a treat. And I have one cat that says, "What are you trying to feed me? I don't want that." And the other one, it's like, "Well, I'll try it. All right, these ones I like." And the next time you give it to him, it's like, "No, don't like them." He'd rather have a toy, though. Just a moment. I'm very thirsty. I need a drink. I've been trying to stay hydrated this week. And this heat is not helping. Hi, S. Well, let's see. Saturday was 85. And the last couple of nights it's been really humid because we've had a few storms rolling through. Uh, for me, it's bad because with the humidity, I have problems with my arthritis. And of course, my asthma doesn't do well in the humidity either. So that's part of the reason that it's taking us so long to get all the siding done. It's because we have to work for like an hour and a half, at which point we start to get really overheated. And then we go inside and cool off for an hour. We go back outside and work for another hour and a half. Then we go back inside to cool off and make something to eat. Hi, Atkins Nature Aquariums. We're doing pretty good, Ian. How are you today? If anybody wants to come up on stream, the link has been pinned. Yes, I'm finally getting better about doing it faster. It's also remembering not to go and do anything after I set up the stream and send you the link. Because then it's already copy and pasted. All I got to do is paste it back into the next browser. But I also got a little bit more sleep before the stream today, so I'm a little bit more together than I usually am. Because I've been deciding to take care of myself this week, so I'm getting extra sleep. I'm taking care of doctor's appointments. I did my counseling appointment earlier today. And I've got an appointment tomorrow at 9 to talk to the people at the counseling place about helping me get back on the meds correctly. So hopefully they'll help me resolve that issue. And that'll make life a whole lot better once I can get back on all my medications. And I am really happy with my Canines babies. I'm really happy with my killifish babies and my guppy babies. I did talk to Jess today. She's sending me out the other cribs. But we already discussed it. If they don't make it, I'm just going to do more of the golden mystery snails and maybe some guppies. Because we know it could be just that the crevenses can't make it that far. I don't know if they're just not as hardy a fish and without industrial type packaging, if they just won't make it. So we're going to err on trying one more time, and if it doesn't, we already have the alternate plan. And I've been having a lot of fun running my Pathfinder game and learning all about that. So that's new stuff for me to learn. And I really like learning, so that's fun. And I'm thinking that maybe sometime this week I need to make time to check out all those different links that Chewy was showing us last night. Because it really sounded like a very interesting subject. And I can definitely see how it's very important to the hobby that the CARES list be maintained and the naming of fish be appropriate so that the CARES program can succeed. A lot of things that Chewy talks about that kind of go over my head sometimes as far as the music industry and everything. But when he starts getting into ecology and things about different fish and stuff, that's when he really gets my interest and makes me want to learn more about it. Because there's been so many arguments back and forth about wild caught fish and things like that, and I don't understand the whole dynamics of it. I know so many people's economies are dependent on certain fish, but then I worry about, because those areas are dependent on it, is it really fair for us to keep taking out of the wild if it's going to make it so that the next generation of those people can't have that industry? Oh, I'm sorry, Ian. So what fish did you lose? Ian says, had a busy day, lost a couple of fish because of the heat. So he moved the tank downstairs, then decided he wanted all of his South American community fish in one tank and the West African community in another tank. Had them all mixed up, but then got them mostly in the right mix now. There's a couple more tanks he needs to move some fish around in, or try to set up another 55 that's been sitting in the garage.
Yeah, it's starting to be crazy that I have two tanks that are 14 sand to get up and running.
Yeah, it took me over a year to set up the 180.
Yeah, that's 180.
Yeah.
Mine are 140.
Yeah, we really need to find the right rack for you. I need to. I did find the notebook with all the dimensions in it again. I just need to research the depth dimension because that's the only place that I'm concerned we might have an issue for you. Is that it might not be enough width from the wall to the bed for a stand,
Oh,
or at least not a stand that the 55s will fit on, or the 75s. All the other tanks, I'm sure will fit on a narrower stand.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's not a problem. I enjoy helping you for that with that.
Thank you. And I am sorry again.
Oh, Ian, you lost a black marble angel and an emperor tetra. Those are some really pretty fish. I'm sorry to hear you lost them.
Oh,
Is it really getting that hot where you are that it's heating up the tanks too much? Or were you just not prepared for the rise in the heat? Oh, that's nice. He says when he moved his spotted Raphael, he got to get a good look at him, and he's nice and fat. Yeah, it's always nice when you see a fish that you don't see very often, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my goodness, it got big. We had a ghost knife fish that I actually thought had died, but it was hiding in a tank decoration when I had taken things out of the tank. And I had put it in a bucket. I'm smart enough to know to do that. And I put it back in the tank just to get it out of the bucket. Thought that he was gone, left the tank alone for 6 months, and finally went to go get it ready to set up again. And I heard splashing around. I turned on the tank lights, and the fish had grown 3.5 to 4 inches longer, at least a half an inch fatter, and it was like, wow. I don't know how he hid in there that long with nothing in there and no food.
was there no water?
I had about 2/3 of a tank of water. It was just enough to keep the filter running.
Like, no.
And it wasn't a pleco, it was a ghost knife fish. Those are the ones that look kind of like a feather. And he hid, and for 6 months without being fed, and grew and grew and grew. So I took him to the fish store and got 3 times as much as what I spent for him back. And they sell it at a third of what they'll sell them for. So he must have grown to a good size that they really liked him. Yeah, the sunroom you had them in, I can see how that would heat up quick. Oh, and you had 97 degrees. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the only thing you could do in that situation is either move them out or get a chiller for the tank. Even I don't think a fan would work for that.
Hi, kids.
Hi, Larry. You're home early. I thought you were going in late.
I did. I just did a half-hour shift. That's all
Oh,
they
wow.
needed me for. So I did a half hour, signed off my regular time,
Well, that's nice.
got him to his bed. He's happy. I'm happy. We're all happy.
Yeah,
And
we
yeah, that
love the ghost knife too, but the fact that he was going to hide all the time and I had a
and he was getting
75
aggressive.
degree. Yeah, before he started hiding, he was very aggressive. So he was going to need the tank all to himself. Hi, Patty.
Don't get snippy, Patty, or you're going to bed early without dinner.
Do you remember, Patty? I can give Patty my abilities.
Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, hi, Patty. Welcome. We missed you. Hi, Kevin.
How are you, Larry? How are you,
I'm doing
Larry?
okay. Doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's still having a little bit of audio problems tonight, so we're talking through the phone again.
Okay.
Well, Patty, you know I won't let Larry pick on you.
Well, a little bit.
More Wi-Fi. And how do you get those things?
Yeah, I know she does. And I don't know if Larry can take it.
Take what?
Patty at her best.
Uh-oh. I don't want to try that.
Wise man.
You trained me well.
We lost Kevin there for a moment.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, good.
It is
Reheated.
reheated.
Reheated pizza with
And
sausage.
every night you come on stream and you eat. And you make everybody hungry.
Sorry.
Did your mother ever tell you you don't bring food unless you have enough for the whole class?
I have enough for everybody. I still got half a pie. It's enough for everybody. And I got wings. We're good.
Oh,
Who wants?
so you'll be having difficulty with your tummy later tonight.
Mm,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yes. I know you. Wings are not good for you.
Yes, ma'am.
And every time I tell you that, that's what you tell me.
There are some nights where I don't have any problems. Tonight is one of those nights.
Unfortunately, most of the time,
We hope. So Atkins, which fish are going into the basement?
well, all of them pretty much. What he did though is he separated out his African cichlids from his first.
Yeah, because I caught just the very end about the sunroom being super hot.
He's got South American community tank and West African community tank.
Where are
So
our
he's
rainbow cichlids from? The rainbow crevenzos.
what region are they uh, traditionally from?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Sorry, I was wondering whether you were wondering where you got it from or where the original.
I can tell you that hand.
Mm-hmm. I suppose I could always Google it.
I already.
Nigeria and Cameroon. So that's an African,
Yeah.
but
Southern Nigeria, the coastal areas of Cameroon. Oh, there's a. They are considered to be African.
okay.
They originate from the drainage area at the Ethiopia River in Nigeria and Niger Delta.
Thank you.
And they like really hard water. Very alkaline water. Which is why they are sometimes described as being a brackish water fish. And apparently
Your water's not that hard.
they were originally imported into Germany.
Huh. Your water's not that hard, though.
It's not hard water. It's the water of low-lying black water streams is acidic and very soft, while the delta waters are slightly brackish and more alkaline. So they actually can go in a wide swing.
They can handle a wide range.
Waters, but they have to be kept generally in parameters for their whole life. So if they are from a more brackish, keep them in more brackish. Because from a more fresh water, we have to keep them in more fresh water.
Eat your Crystal Light iced tea. You might want to add water to that. Not hard water.
Ice.
And don't give any to Jen.
Why not?
You hate iced tea. You can't stand the stuff. It's all she drinks is iced tea. And she says, I'm bad. Oh my gosh. I mean, I at least
Yeah,
make the good
water
stuff.
bottles. Yeah, I need to get back to doing fresh fruit iced tea though. And try the Crystal Light flavor packets in it. Because I drilled my sugar up too high last night just by having flavored iced tea.
Atkins, 17, that many fish in a 30? It was 17 Corys, so they were all along the bottom. Spotted head stander. That I don't know. Spotted Raphaels are pretty. You say it's fat?
Yes, a spotted Raphael. He just saw after taking the tank apart to catch all the fish. Finally got to see him after a while and says it's a fat fish. He got fat out of him. Hi, Jeffrey Watts.
Hey, Jeffrey. Unfortunately, it's not really a New York style, and they cut it in squares, not in slices, even though I told them in the directions, cut in slices.
And Jeffrey, you can't complain about the food that he has when I've seen the food that you make.
Oh.
I would take the food you make over what he eats any day of the week.
Hey, Travis.
I've seen the food that Jeffrey Watts makes. I would take Jeffrey's food any day of the week over what Larry eats. I said on the streams he was doing, he was cooking one day while he was on stream.
Oh, that African butterfly. I love that fish. That was incredible. The rope fish. Jen and I both don't care for it too much. But that... I don't know if Jen saw your butterfly fish. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he was and he told his mother he was cooking, and his mother said, had it right over. I don't either.
I need to get back down to New York City, get some real pizza. That's pizza. Patty's lucky she's down there. I'm jealous for that. Heck, I'm even willing to pay for a big slice of Ray's. Get some real pizza.
Patty comes from the area that has some pizza Larry loves.
Mm.
Oh no, just New York style pizza.
Oh, really? You're coming up to New York? To New York City?
Jeffrey.
Yeah, this is not New York style. Buffalo style has much thicker crust. You really can't fold it.
That crust has no flavor.
Mm.
I don't like crust.
It's the sauce. The sauce that they use in Buffalo in Western New York is different than New York style sauce. I don't know what the difference is.
Here
When
in
we go
Buffalo,
down to my
we
mom's,
use more of a spaghetti sauce or a tomato that's very under seasoned.
when Jen and I go down to visit my mom, she always takes us at least one day to one of the local pizza places to get slices.
Yes, they got a really good place. I'm not a fan of New York style pizza, but I love the pizza there. It
Mm.
has a really great.
Uh,
Oh, did I tell you what I'm going to learn to cook this week?
you did what?
I've decided I'm going to learn how to cook something new this week.
But no.
What?
Angel food cake.
Ooh,
Oh,
that sounds good.
but it's easy.
I
Oh,
suppose I'd be willing to be a taste tester.
Okay.
oh,
But I should leave the strawberries off of yours?
Hmm. Yes, please.
Okay. Okay.
but he doesn't like strawberries.
I like
He doesn't,
strawberry flavored things, but I don't like strawberries themselves. I'm very picky.
and I love strawberry shortcake on angel food cake.
I like strawberry shortcake.
Mm.
I love strawberry shortcake.
Mm.
Okay, I'm getting really upset now.
Why's that? Because I haven't used a dessert yet?
No, I'm in my 55 gallon and dang hot dog feet on hiding. I'm trying to get the albino Lego out of this and into another thing.
You can't catch them?
It's me out.
Drain some of the water out so it doesn't have as much places to go.
No, it's, you can't see it. And keep hiding. And before you say out of this thing, that's the way which I can't really take out over here.
Okay, Kevin, do you have any sheets of that plastic canvas left?
Why?
Because you could put it down in the tank and move it forward to make a smaller area of the tank that
Yeah,
it's trapped in.
you cordon him off and slowly make it a smaller area as you try and net him in. At some point, you're going to have him in a partition that's only a couple inches wide. You'll be able to get him easy then.
That would be great. Except I have them here.
Don't fit in there with that.
And I think it's hard to find.
And that's probably exactly where it's hiding at. You have another net, right?
I have to do that. Yes.
Can you try to put a net behind the weir? Because if it's behind the weir, it will come out to avoid it. And if you leave it back there, it won't keep going back there because it'll see the net and say, oh, can't go there.
Aha.
I tried that. I don't know, someone had just being a bird.
You might just have to bribe your brother.
Oh, I thought my dad could help, but it's not helpful.
Oh.
Yeah, the cribs are being rambunctious right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
A lot of
I just
times
want
I just put my hand in the tank and move it around until the fish comes to where I need it to be. And sometimes it's a matter of tiring the fish out.
Jeffrey says to be the fish whisperer. Talk him into the net slowly.
Wait, what?
To be the fish whisperer. Just talk
And
him into the net.
actually, you really have to be like a sharpshooter with some fish, though, because it seems like if you're looking for them, they hide. The second you stop looking for them, they come out and say, ha ha! Huh?
Oh, I saw my king tiger pleca the other night,
Oh, you did?
and the minute I saw him, he's like, "Oh shit!" and he went back under the tree.
Yep.
Literally, I went up to the tank. I turned on the lights. I
That's
looked around
that
literally
was
for
the
like
problem. You turn on the light.
the lights were on for a good like 10-15 seconds before I saw him, and he then scurried. He wasn't moving until I saw him. And when he saw my eyes meet his eyes, that's when he's like, ah.
Predator on me.
But my favorite fish there, I saw him. He just hides from me too much.
Yes. Wow.
Well, that and the Denison barbs I love. And the batik loaches. And the leopard cories. Okay, I have a lot of fish that I really like in that tank. It's hard to pick just one favorite. You know, it's... you people understand. You have a favorite in one tank, and then you move him over into another tank where you have favorites. Oh, hi, Kevin. And now you have two favorites in that tank. Then you move some more into there that you love. Now you have 3 or 4 favorites all in the same tank. You no longer have just one favorite in that tank. Jen is just so cruel to do that to me.
Why?
Uh-oh. What'd he do?
Well, I could just tell you, no, you can't have any of the fish you want. Would you rather me cruel that way?
No.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Okay, question.
Are they what?
Yeah, they don't look dead. I think they're fine.
What are they?
I think it's all drama.
Oh, but it doesn't look unhealthy.
Yeah. Still green. Hey, Fishymon.
It actually looks like a good amount of Java moss.
I need to get another drink.
Yeah, I think that looks fine. Hi, Fishy Mom. Again, if anybody would come up on stream that like it's been done?
Except Patty. We don't expect Patty. That would shock us too much. Or Sean. I've never seen Sean either. It's been a long time since I've seen Travis. I mean, it's been weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yes, Sean, the life of dispatch is no fun.
Kevin, that looks fine.
It's very nice and green and healthy.
Okay, good. My dad was trying to help me to go, and instead he was fishing out a bunch of drop off, but it was good, and I think it looks okay. Then again, it was pretty colorblind.
You know, as you're feeling, do you feel like it's slimy at all?
It actually do.
Then I know you're right. It's that plant is.
Just on an accident.
No, I think you're right. It's just being colorblind. You can see it for being still green and healthy.
I know so, and he doesn't look in colors myself.
These medium wings are so good.
All right.
Oh, hush.
We'll see how you feel in an hour or so.
Yeah, let's sometimes have to go back.
Kevin?
Just we want to know why you're massaging your boss.
Why are you massaging your moss? Oh, so the crabs again.
Mostly I'm trying to get out all of the debris in it. And trying to see if there's any other. Shrimp.
Yeah, the shrimp might be hiding it.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't think
And Larry,
Yes?
I found out one of our fish died. Another betta.
Which? I didn't hear you. Which side?
The white betta.
Cloud?
Yes.
Oh, man. That was one of the good ones. Well, they're all good ones.
Yes,
I was never a fan of bettas until we got them.
I really just set timers on the lights because that's the other thing. You left the lights on, and I have a whole bunch of algae now.
The lights on where?
All the fish tanks.
The only ones I turned on
was
on the 180. I turned nothing else on. All the 10s and 20s, I don't touch those.
Those were on because remember I'd asked you to feed the fry.
I fed them.
And you turned the lights on when you fed them and didn't turn
All the lights were already on. You left.
Oh boy. Well, if that ever happens again, turn them off, please.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Hey, Chewy.
I need to get those cameras set up properly. We need to get that done this week. Chewy,
Oh, you were not that bad tomorrow.
apparently it does happen. And considering that it was a day that I had been up on stream at 5 in the morning and then took my daughter to the surgery and then went out to Lockport, it's impossible.
Wait, that?
That was Friday?
Wait, you
Yeah.
were
How did her wrist surgery go?
And that wasn't Friday.
Thursday?
I know it was Sunday.
It was last Sunday and I had to take her in for her surgery Monday morning. And her surgery went fine. I need the car again on the 30th so I can take her to get the cast off and I can check it.
Let's say again, you need on the 30th.
Shimon, he sounds like he's in a tunnel because he is talking to you through my telephone. He's had issues with his audio.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, Chewy.
So I asked a question in chat. Does anybody
Do I like sea turtles?
Yeah.
I love sea turtles. I think they're majestic animals.
They're amazing.
Well, there is a population of those over in Madagascar on a small island that was made out of volcanoes. And I'm sort of like going over there to try to find, like, there's no footage of the volcanic lake. You know how hard it is getting videos of volcanic lake?
Jeffrey,
Crazy
he's
pictures.
on AOL 3.0.
No, Jeffrey, actually what it is that the Wi-Fi towers in this area are bad.
But the sea life around that island is unbelievable.
Oh, I can imagine.
There's a lodge there that a girl scuba diver did like a promotional video through Creative Commons. The girl is talented with the camera as well. Plus, she's a scuba diver.
Wow.
Underwater photography is not easy.
And
I know that.
well, my friend Marco from the Italian Cycling Club, I've done a lot of his videos from Thailand. That's where he doesn't have any of Lake Malawi, but he has them from Thailand.
Okay.
Okay, they're just beautiful. Like every time I do a video, he adds to it and he puts it on his thing.
Cool.
Right? So we're on this Africa little project together, and he goes, "Well, I've been down there, but I don't have any footage of it." And I'm going, "I know where to find some."
Oh, fantastic.
Right?
Let's see.
Cool.
Travis says you need a new free trial. Fishy Mom wants to know if
Those
you
are waters to swim in.
Hey, GRB.
Like, there's a lot of sharks that go through Madagascar.
So when are you going, Chewy?
So when you're gonna go?
Oh, I can't go anywhere now.
No?
My body is stuck in like one place. Like I have a broken hip.
Ow.
Okay. I have 3 herniated discs in my lower spine. I have osteoarthritis. I have a knee that finally gave out due to cartilage and
You're
ligament damage.
you're a mess.
And bad feet. So
So
I'm
once you scuba dive and get under that water, once you scuba dive and get under that water and you're just floating, you'll feel fine.
they don't allow us people with seizures to have a scuba tank.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
didn't know you had that too.
yes, it was the reason why I didn't become a marine biologist.
Uh,
Yeah, frustrating, isn't it?
Well, at least we have the resources to see those things.
So when was the last time you were in your public zoo?
I have not been in the zoo for probably.
did you and I go, Jen? That was a couple of years ago.
No,
You both are from New York, are you not?
We're from Western
he's
New York. We're nowhere near the
But
near New York City.
are you anywhere near the New York Aquarium where
No, that's
Dr.
8 hours away.
Well, that's where Dr. Paul Eiffel used to work. He was the
oh,
curator of freshwater fishes in the New York Aquarium. Yeah.
now, Larry, have you ever actually visited the New York Aquarium? Because you lived there
Yes.
when you were younger.
Yes, I've been to the Bronx Zoo several times when I was much younger. I've been to the New York Aquarium when I was much younger. We're talking in my
I
teens,
would
maybe.
love to see a video of the New York Aquarium.
Like 40, 50 years ago. So I don't
I would
remember
actually love to see a
most of it.
video of that. Even just the outside of it.
I'm sure
Yeah, we got to go to our local zoo.
But mind you, I would love to see a video of my favorite hockey team's arena too.
Ah,
How close are
well,
you?
the order's closed.
How close are you to the Nassau Coliseum?
That's 8 hours away. We're not near New York City.
Oh,
We're in the far end of New York State.
they're gonna tear
They're near
that.
Niagara Falls.
They're gonna tear that building down, man. Some
The Nassau
good
Coliseum?
job there. They get a new building next year.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Sorry,
it'll be
I
interesting to see what they do with it.
from New York. I'm not a Sabres fan. I don't mind them, but the Islanders are my team.
Ah, on purpose?
Yeah, see, we're right next to the Buffalo Zoo here and near the Niagara Aquarium.
You get to see our aquarium kind of thing. Yeah, I know the aquarium that's by there.
Jen, we got to take a trip to the aquarium. I've never been there. To the Niagara
You've never
Aquarium.
been there?
No,
Oh,
road trip.
one of the most fun experiences I had with my daughter was at the Niagara Aquarium. Uh, when she was in Girl Scouts, they had sleep at the aquarium.
Oh,
And we slept in a shark tank, or the cage tank, right
yeah.
underneath the shark tank.
Oh, no. Yeah,
So big sharks swimming around all night long, right above your head.
I wouldn't sleep.
But she had accidentally dropped her headband into the sea lion enclosure while they're doing the show. And the trainer sent the sea lion down to go get it and retrieve it and gave it back to her. And she, to this day, still has that.
Fish them on several times.
You know what else I came across too? This is amazing. A video of a native North American fish being invasive somewhere else. You know the bluegill?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been introduced to Africa and it has been introduced to Japan. Japan considers it one of the highest invasive species in their waterways. And Africa has got problems with it along fishing waterways. So
almost any fish can end up becoming invasive to an area if it's introduced without proper care.
Well, the thing is
it's not even without proper care.
That part of Africa means that it's breeding season all year round for the bluegill, and they're huge over there.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, you mentioned this yesterday, like 2 days ago.
Yeah. No, we were talking about invasive species. But
yeah.
Yeah. I went on a hunt.
Yeah, Jen, so we're going to go to the aquarium.
It's just putting them in an area where they don't belong. It's that when you put them in that area, their natural predators aren't there, and they grow to the point where they become the super.
Well, the thing is that they've just taken over for a species of tilapia. That's all. They outbred the tilapia in that one area of Africa. And so basically they've picked that niche, but they're food for crocodiles, just like tilapia would. It's like they're not like the king dogs, but they get big in those waterways.
Jeffrey, with me, it was always, damn, you disconnected me from the internet when they picked up the phone. Thank you. That brought back a lot of memories.
Yes, I remember the days of my mother yelling at us, "Get off that computer! I want to use the phone."
We had a 1200 baud at that point.
Yes,
I have to say I was fortunate to be one of the first families in my neighborhood to get computers and all that stuff.
So when I say the word tilapia, what comes to your mind?
For most people, I'm assuming when they hear the word tilapia, they're thinking about the fish that you eat in restaurants.
Yeah, fried fish. That's why I never think about it as a fish in the wild.
There's several different Oreochroma species which the Nile tilapia belongs to. The Nile tilapia is considered one of the most. The Mozambique is up there too, as being an invasive species. It is a river fish that lives along the banks and hangs out with hippos so that it protects itself against crocodiles.
Oh. Why am I thinking I heard somewhere that they were a created fish? They weren't natural.
Well, there's domesticated strains of those types of fish.
Okay.
Just like there's domesticated strains of angelfish and all of that kind of thing. We got
right.
They've crossbred certain different types of Oreochromas together, especially the Mozambique and the Nile. to add size and
Yeah,
to
I keep thinking of like tilapia farms.
and to add the diversity of making it more of a colder water fish than it should be.
Yeah.
The one from Mozambique can withstand very cold temperatures. Okay, that's how come
Okay. Does it need to? Isn't Mozambique warm?
there,
GRB's tilapia, the most highly hybridized.
there is snow up there in them dar
Oh,
mountains
is there?
of
Okay.
Mozambique. And so it goes through like a cold to another type, and it's also found in other areas such as India,
Okay.
where it would receive water down to like 50, 55 at least. And so it takes a certain temperature for them to spawn, but like they could survive the nature, and that's the issue. That's why they are considered the one of the top invasive species in the world. You know, they're everywhere.
Jeffrey, have you ever seen a hippo pooping?
However, now back to the genus Oreochromis.
It's
Yeah.
There,
Fisherman who said about hippo poop.
Oh,
there,
official. Sorry.
there is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful tilapia that comes from Lake Tanganyika.
Lake Tanganyika. Sorry, fisherman. Have you ever seen a hippo poop? As they're pooping, they and it's coming out, they switch their tail really fast, so it just spreads everywhere.
Yes.
There's no actual droppings. It's spread out everywhere. It's sprayed out that way, so it gets into everything in the water.
Which is why they don't eat anything from the water. They go on land and eat plants.
Yeah, they're herbivores.
And Jeffrey said, Lot says, as a vow, thank you.
Now,
If one person gets it, he's done his job.
I'm posting a link in chat of an Oreochromis from Lake Tanganyika. They are worth $500 a trio.
Okay.
There is a difference between the $1.99 tilapia and one that costs that much money.
So I take it there's a good business catching those.
Um, let's just say that it's very, very hard to do. You have to go down to the depths and bring them up slowly. Lake Tanganyika is a very deep lake.
Okay, and they're towards the bottom.
Yeah. They're down there with the frontosa, the type tilapia frontosa, and the other deep water species. They're not like a rock shore fish. They're in the deep parts of the lake.
And now Jeffrey says that, or no, Travis says now he doesn't want fish tacos. They're made from tilapia.
Actually,
Jeffrey
I
wants, yes,
posted it
pickles
for
for kids playing in the can, in the sand.
I could
And
not
he plants and people. Suppose,
I could
are you
not
able to put it in shape so that I can pin it?
I put it. I'm only able to put it in private chat, which I have done.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. I'll get it from there.
you got it.
So you can get it and you can share it. But look at the beauty of that fish. It's blue and red. Beautiful fish. Stunning.
Oreochromis tangenica. Ooh,
Stunning fish.
that is a pretty fish.
Yes. There's one that's red that's endangered, and I have a feeling that it comes from this area where the Nile perch took over.
How big does something like that get?
I
It looks
mean,
like a pretty big fish.
the bluegill. Oh, it gets to about 12 inches long or so. Like, not quite as big as the Nile, but they get pretty big. Like, they're a big tank, big person's type of fish. Right? Like,
Jen.
No, you can't.
Nah, he gets too big.
yeah, he gets to be quite a handful. I wouldn't keep a trio in less than 240 gallons of water.
Yeah, Jennifer pinned that if anybody wants to quickly grab that and take a look at this fish.
It's a beautiful fish.
And it's just a 1.5-minute video, but
Yeah,
that's nice.
yeah.
Oreochromis tangenica. Cool beans.
There are so many beautiful fish from Africa, honestly.
Yeah.
Of course. That's why I'm over there. Doing my study.
How many times have you been over there, or did you live there for a while?
I have never lived there. I've been there in books ever since I was a kid. It was my area of study and hobby. It was my area for the pet shop, which I worked as a wholesaler, which I would to know about those particular fish explicitly. So, yeah. Like the pet shop that we used to run, we would go as far as the Chicago Cichlids Association, go and find new species that weren't through the regular trade hobbies up here in Canada. Like a lot of these fish are like real specialty type of cichlids, right?
Hi, Griffin.
Uh-oh. Hey, Baldy.
It's very beautiful fish.
Very nice, very nice.
The time I tried cichlids, it was some emerald cichlids from Lake Malawi.
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 Yeah, Malawi. Like Malawi.
Yeah, and I wish I had bought them about them because I would have done better in my definitely. I ended up having a lot of aggression issues because I didn't understand what I was doing.
The thing about the Rift Valley in Africa, okay, a lot of people talk about the major three lakes, but there's 8 rift lakes alone in Kenya, and there's a few in Tanzania, And there's also one or two in Uganda that are freshwater. They even have brackish water lakes, and they even have full salt water lakes that go in that. And all of them are full of various different types of fish.
GR says they lost interest in the African cichlids 20 years ago and have been keeping the American cichlid sunfish.
That comes down to a lot of availability.
Well, for fish, I fish that
Like
can be a community fish.
Australia has got a lot more African fish banned than they do um, uh, South America for some strange reason. Okay, but there's some fish in Africa that could definitely do damage in Australia. Like there's a snakehead from Africa that would definitely do a lot of damage in Australia. Definitely. The Parachana of Africa, like they're a genus all in themselves, but beautiful fish. Wouldn't survive up here in Canada though. But in Australia, they would cause a lot of havoc. Like they get a foot long. They could wipe out quite a few of the little Australian rainbow type fish and pseudomugills and all of those types of fish quite easily.
Yeah, it takes a lot to feed a fish that big.
Yep. You know, like you begin to understand why certain countries have got bans on certain things. But it's nothing like the snakehead that's in Virginia. That's
Oh, yeah.
that is a monster. It can live in Canada. You can keep it down there.
Are everywhere, are becoming invasive everywhere.
You
There's so
see,
many places that you're not allowed to have them at all anymore. And I don't think that's a bad idea. There are some fish that we really should keep in the hobby because the likelihood of something happening that it gets up into the wild and if it does, it does everything.
there's some gobies that are currently in the hobby that could do a lot of damage.
The gobies are invasive in both in the Finger Lakes right now. Erie and Lake Ontario. Both they're saying if you catch them, don't put them back in.
Those are the colder water gobies.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the warmer ones from Malaysia. Like if you guys are worried about an arowana that lives in those waterways, you better be worried about the other fish that are in those waterways too.
Oh, yes.
And the one from Malaysia is the invasive species down in Florida. Okay?
Yeah.
There's only 2 invasive species populations of snakeheads in the United States. You got a white cloud minnow invasion in Massachusetts too. You don't hear about that one too much, do you?
Never heard of that.
Yeah, well, you do.
No, you don't hear about that because people think, oh, it's such a small fish, can't really do anything.
And it's a little fish, and it causes a lot of havoc on the microbiology and insects the other fish thrive on. So it outcompetes the native fish in Massachusetts. That's how come we got the White Cloud band.
Sounds like a Bee Gees song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm a firm believer in just because it's out there and we want it doesn't mean we should have it.
We lost Kevin.
Well, yep, we did.
Okay, before he comes back, everybody hide.
But in the case of Florida, that was a thing that was going to happen. You set up
You can
outdoor
still hear
pools,
everything, see?
you set up outdoor pools in a hurricane area.
Yeah.
Of course, your walking catfish are going to go for a walk. It doesn't take a
Kev
rocket
says,
to figure that one out.
even if his camera wasn't up, he could still hear you, so quit talking crap about him.
I know. I'm kidding with him.
Yeah, we know. Jason.
You kidding? Really? I didn't know you kidding.
Do you know when the walking catfish invaded Florida?
The
No.
bathroom?
It happened around late 60s, early 70s. It was big news in TFH magazine.
Yeah,
And,
it sounds familiar.
and I open it up to that article and I pull it out and I'm looking at the walking catfish in our wholesaler as I'm looking at this article and I call over my boss and I go, get a load of this. And he goes, that's not going to be the last of them either. There's
He
no
was right.
security down there.
Once they get in there, yeah.
You pegged it right on the nose. There's so many, like jewel cichlids are invasive down there. You don't hear very much about them, do you?
No.
Well, you hear about the peacock bass that they put in there to try and kill off all the little cichlids. Well, it don't work. All it does is take over for a native fish around that size.
Yeah.
Jewel cichlids are nasty little fish.
Well, I think honestly, part of it is that we just need to really be a lot more responsible in the hobby as to.
Don't blame the hobby, just blame the fish farms. The same is true over in Asia. The same is true over wherever there's a lot of the fish farms. It's
Farms.
special heaven. Lots and tons of the pleco invasion. The big pleco that grows
They're
2
they're
feet
escape.
long.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
those
escaping
common
from.
flaccos.
Yes,
They're escaping from the farms
yep,
and just becoming an invasive species. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Well, when they get to 3, 4 feet big, no wonder they're escaping.
I've heard another story about how they got it out in the wild, but it only makes it worse. Right on top of what we would say the Florida fish farms way of thinking.
GRB is saying Festamida, Midas, and a few other cichlids, as well as
Yep.
the common plecos.
Yep. Oh, there's lots. There's Eratus in there. I've heard of several different species of Central American fish. There's clown knife fish in there. Like, really? It's fisherman's
Clown?
dream. You thought it was a bass that's not even from the United States just to get rid of the smaller fish, right? Well, it's not doing the job either, right? All of
Yeah.
them want to do
Get rid
the
of the
job.
smaller
It's taking
fish.
over for another native fish that was there.
Yeah, that's what they should have done is promote the growth of the native fish.
Yeah,
Yeah, find a native fish that'll
But
go
they do
after
it
that.
by target until they got big enough to take care of the invasive species.
now there's like things like I've heard of piranhas being down in their waters. I've also heard of um, arapimas being down in their waters now too. And like it's like the perfect land to become invasive to. The swamplands.
Yeah.
Hey, most of the reptiles here are alligators. They'll become our friends. Because the only thing that looks after big fish populations are crocs.
I believe it. If it's not something the croc wants to eat,
Because
then you're fine to be in there.
crocs feed on fish, and when you're a mammal, the worst time is during a drought time to be crossing a river because the fish are low during that time period. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And
We lost Jen. Now we could talk about her.
it's the time that you really have to worry about hippos in Africa too, from what I hear, because they become
More people have been killed by hippos than by crocs in Africa.
Yep.
If you get between them and water, they will kill you.
And they're invasive to Peru
I didn't know they were in Peru.
Due to a drug lord.
Yes, I did hear that.
Yes.
I did hear that.
All of his zoo animals were let go.
Were let go after his death. Yeah.
Ah.
Oh man.
Sorry about it, everybody.
Biosecurity there, my goodness.
There he is. That was one of our little.
No, they didn't miss me at all. Probably didn't even know I was gone.
Oh no, I was talking smack about you when you were gone.
You know,
Yeah, I know. I heard every word of it still on the phone
the
with
funny thing about it is that common stucco gets recycled and recycled by the wholesalers down there. It's funny. If you want to get rid of them, fish them out.
They don't want to get rid of them. Not if they're going to make money off of them.
Yeah, but if the government wanted them out, then why are they considered an invasive species?
Well, the government might want them out, but the fishermen are probably thinking I can make money off of this, so they're not going to stop it.
Exactly. I see more people putting back things that are invasive. I couldn't believe it was with a walking catfish. The guy puts it back into the waterway of the golf course. Are you serious?
Wait, the barramundi fish get 4 feet, JRB?
What I hate here
Or the crocs.
We're allowed
Crocs get huge.
We can go fishing. We can kill a bass.
Crocs down
in our fishing.
Big fish. Overpopulation of big fish. They got a croc population that is huge down there.
Yeah, that's true.
We're talking a bunch of alligators that want to be your friend.
Ugh.
Yeah, they want to play in your pool,
Yeah.
but they also want to eat your dog and your baby. And
Well, that's the problem is alligators are mostly a scavenger type of reptile. They like eating dead carrion. Is
Yeah.
what they like eating. Okay, sort of like the alligator snap eater. Okay, those were the two kind of big predators that would put the average fear into like a medium-sized fish for breakfast. But their prime duty is digging up the bayou and the swampland of Florida with their nose and getting all the dead carcasses out of there.
Hmm.
yeah, if you wanna, that's exactly what you have to do with all the
Did I show you
population
the
of
croc
rocks
cave
is
the
clean
last
out.
Did I show you the croc cave the last time?
No.
No,
Okay. And the reason why I'm showing it to you is the guy who hosts this program, which is called um, Big Nature, okay, and it's on ocanada.com.
Okay.
Okay, the guy's name is Brian Keaton. Brian and I go back to the 80s. Okay, he was a guest on this show.
Oh, let's take a look
oh,
here.
hello. You know, I just stopped your sister from doing this.
Have you ever heard of Monty's Traveling Reptile Show?
Monty's traveling? No.
Oh,
Monty?
yes, you did show us this,
Oh,
the cave throws,
that was
cave
the
craft, yeah.
night timer, right?
Now, if you look at the two videos, you will see like about 30 years of difference. I used to be one of the sound engineers of Monty's Traveling Reptile Show, produced by Channels 2 and 7, which is now global in Calgary. My cousin was the director and producer.
Okay, and there's the second one.
So whenever I was in town and on mixing rock bands, I was working on that show or working on the Flames television broadcast. But you can see him 30 years later. It's a blast. Back when he was a guest, he was like the education coordinator of the Calgary Zoo.
Okay.
Okay. So he was brought on to talk about prehistoric sharks. Okay. Because the zoo at one time had its own little prehistoric park, but they moved it down to Drumheller to
Yes,
make.
BRB, I'd be leaving real quick too.
I can imagine. Bigger than the 16-foot boat? Yeah, I'm out of there.
And then the thing about crocodiles is while they do that what they eat is rotten flesh, they're carrion eaters. They have no problem killing something and hiding it till it becomes carrion. So that's why we're getting these really huge ones.
But I've heard that now crocs are also imported. I have not seen anything to deal with it per se, but I've heard.
Well, they don't have a natural predator either.
No.
Man is it.
Actually, crocs do have a predator that can look after them.
Well, the hippos can kill them.
The hippos can kill them, and so can lions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but neither one wants to.
The hippos, if they're bothered by a croc, will go after a croc.
Yes, big time. I've seen,
and they can cut them in half.
But the crocs tend to avoid the hippos.
Hence, that's where all the tilapia hang out is by the hippos.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they feast on the hippo poop.
But then the crocs eat everything that comes to the water. To get the water, they just drag them down under and hide them until they become the carrion.
Yeah, they store them till they're hungry later.
I've heard, but don't quote me. Each tilapia species has got its own taste due to what they feed on.
Yeah.
Okay? There is no hippos in Lake Tanganyika.
Well, then they don't have to worry about that.
I hear that is a wonderful tasting fish from the native catch. And they can't put it back in until they eat it. But they're not suffering from overfishing or anything like that.
Okay.
No issues with the species out there.
Hey, as long as they don't take over the world, I'm good with them.
Yeah. But no hippos going to the deep parts of Lake Tanganyika. Them and crocs don't really go into the deep parts of that lake. What does go into that lake, though, is poisonous cobra.
Cobras, huh?
Yeah.
This is why I don't want to go to Africa. Much as I'd like to go to Africa.
Why I didn't want to go to Africa either. I went, no. I like it up here, you know. That's how come I got an interest in native fish too, right?
Yeah, it's too cold by you. You're too far north.
Did you hang up on purpose?
Yeah, just using a mango.
Oh, okay.
Not really. I'm not that far north.
Talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night.
I'm very close to Spokane.
I just didn't see it. That's fine. Good night. Bye.
Well, GRB.
Kevin has left us for the evening.
Okay. Good night, Kevin.
I know that doesn't mean you get to talk crap about him.
I won't do it too much. That's
Yeah, I
Patty's
hear
job.
the croc farms are a growing industry down in Australia. A lot of people like going to the croc farm.
It's the tourists.
Yeah, that's sort of like the crocodile Dundee of life, right?
Yeah.
You remember that
Well,
old
see,
movie?
part of the problem is
yeah.
whenever one decides that they're going to intervene and change something, we end up with this type of a problem. We're either overpopulated or underpopulated. We don't do things responsibly. You know,
I I think that that has been mankind's way all the way through time.
True.
I know it has,
You
and
know,
that's one of the things that really needs to change.
besides viruses, mankind is the worst invasive species of all time. You don't even have to be big to be an invasive species.
True.
Look at the virus that just has been hitting our planet.
Right.
Well, honestly, I think that's our planet's way of fighting back against the predator. You know, throughout the years of history, we've had major pandemics of something that have wiped out populations in large numbers. And it's usually, we find out that it's because nature got imbalanced.
No,
We can't be sustained at the level we are.
well, nature has got lots of issues, man. Like global warming, uh, um, 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 genetics
The ice cap,
being
Yeah.
affected by all of the antibiotics in our waterways. Like
the
birds,
shifting of the polar ice caps.
like birds are testing that way, and so are fish. Because they're building up an immunity gene.
And it's even been a whole lot of talk about Wi-Fi signals interfering with
So
bees,
what do you
things
throw
like
at
that.
it? So what do you throw at it when they all become immune to it?
Yeah.
That's how come the countries went, no, we can't do this anymore. The USA is the only country that has got free run on pharmaceuticals. And it's tightening up on a lot of areas from what I'm happening in the cattle industry.
Yeah. Patty, you still around?
Or S.
Yeah, we need people to make fun of Kevin because I won't do it.
Yeah, because you've been told you're not allowed. Oh, we have 10 people watching.
So did you find it interesting the difference between Brian Keaton now and Brian Keaton back in the movie?
Oh, it's always interesting to see somebody then and now.
Yeah.
Mm. And if it's somebody that you know, that's all the better.
Oh
I was showing
yeah.
Jennifer some pictures of me the other day of me from 35 years ago when I had a full head of hair, had all my teeth, and I had a
Yeah,
big full beard.
I haven't kept any of those pictures.
I'm actually
I didn't give you any of them.
glad that he.
No, for me, for that time period.
Oh,
I'm
what a
actually
fuck
glad.
I've seen
I don't
them.
have any pictures really, except for maybe one or two that when I was a child or when I first had my daughter.
Okay.
Some missing pictures in your life.
No, when I got divorced, I decided I wasn't going to fight over the minutia, and I just gave him everything.
Oh, okay.
It
But
was
anyhow,
fighting over which picture belongs to who, and do we
Oh,
need a copy of this? It's like I have the memory.
I'm glad that he kept on teaching about nature. You know, like Nobody heard of those until just recently. The crocodiles of Madagascar
Well,
in the cave.
the cave crocs. Well,
Yeah, the cave
they
croc.
didn't realize they were in there.
Yeah, because they need sun to heat themselves, right? So this croc may be a little bit differently in anatomy too, where it is able to
It's
stay
adapted.
warm.
Well, it has to be. It's got to be more like a snake than a croc.
Yeah. Well, no, both are cold blooded. It's sort of like it can handle not being in the sun
Yeah.
to sunbathe to get
If the
warm.
water is warm enough, it adapted.
Yeah.
Yeah, those blind cave fish are very interesting. You and Larry wants to get an axolotl.
I got to clean up the area by my desk, though. This whole area over here.
Believe
Oh,
it or not,
you definitely need to get an axolotl then.
I
believe
want
it,
one.
all of the reptiles in Madagascar were not hurt as bad as other animals. You see a lot of lizards in the hobby of herpetology, and you see a lot of snakes that are
Yeah.
from Madagascar in the hobby, and they're least concerned. The
Are
same,
there a lot of snake species in Madagascar?
the Madagascar boa is a very popular species in the hobby.
Is
There
there a
are
wide variety, though? Are there poisonous snakes and then there's like the
there are
boas and stuff?
poisonous snakes in Madagascar too. Okay, but those would be more for the guys that have got the poison kind of trained to get.
Yeah.
Like I know a guy that has got a Thailand spitting cobra.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be
I don't
near
want to be anywhere near. Yeah.
100 feet away. You don't want to be. It can hit your eyes at 100 feet.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's aggressive as all hell. Like the king cobra is the king of all cobras, and it's actually pretty gentle.
I don't want one.
It's one of the snakes that they use in India to keep the more worse snakes away. It feeds on snakes.
Does it?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, big time. And it only has one enemy.
Man.
The mongoose.
Mongoose.
The mongoose.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Ticky Tacky.
Yeah. The speed of the mongoose versus the power of the cobra. Sounds like a race to me, right?
I
Remember-
watch my live safari, South African safari, every day. I might skip one or two safaris, but they're always showing the slender mongoose and a smaller mongoose, and they're always talking about how dangerous they are. And there's these cute little reptiles, cute little furry rodent-like creatures, and then they actually showed two of them taking on some major snake, like a black snake or something,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was super poison, like they're poisonous snake, and they had it on camera. These two mongoose taking on this cobra
Yeah,
and
well,
winning, and just or not a cobra, the black snake, and winning. And I'm like, holy shit! I'm thinking of these guys as these cute little, almost squirrel like, and
you
they're
know,
not very big. They're
you know,
literally
there's more than one species of mongoose.
yeah
Oh, yes.
Meerkats are also mongooses.
yeah.
They can take on snakes. I've seen it.
Oh, I'm yawning like crazy
So,
all of a sudden.
so if you ever see a mongoose
Hit
in
the wall.
Africa, you're rather safe.
They're adorable.
Mm-hmm.
They show them a lot on the
They're
live safaris.
sort of close to a ferret.
Yeah.
Like different family, but they're sort of close. They both have got the same tendencies. The ferret's more closely related to these.
GRB says mongoose make awesome BMX bikes.
Ah.
Yes, that is a very good brand.
Mongoose was also a name of a race car, like the Big Daddy King Cobra would race against
Ah.
Don. Remember back in the old ABC television days of racing?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
where this comes from. Huh? That's where I learned all about the King Cobra, and I learned all about the mongoose.
Oh, there's our crab. Hey, Mr. Little Rainbow Crab, how you doing?
That's the little girl.
But that is a
Miss-
fight to the death, because the poison can still take out the mongoose.
Where's your babies? I don't see the babies. I want to see the babies. If they're around.
They're up higher.
Oh, really? Okay. Because when they were newborn, they were just staying along the very bottom there. Oh, I see him. I see him. Yay!
So in ways, the best snake charmer in the world is a mongoose. If you think of it that way.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep, they're 5 days old and they're feeling bright and they're up near the top of the tank more now.
Decided to get away from mom and dad.
Oh, mom and dad are right under him, keeping an eye on him.
Yeah.
See, GRB gives away his age with the old BMX type of thing. Remember Mustangs? Like Mustang bikes?
Oh, yes.
Yes. That's more my time period. But I preferred riding the 10-speed.
I'm trying to remember what I had. 20-inch.
10-speed. I don't like mountain bikes. They're shit.
Oh, I had a 20-inch with a banana seat. I had the banana seat. I had the long pole, flexible pole with the big red flag on the top for protection as I'm going along, so that cars can see you.
So, have you ever seen any of the area of Vancouver?
Only what they showed during the Olympics many years ago.
Oh, there's some wonderful things. There's a Hendrix shrine in Vancouver.
Really?
Well, when Hendrix's parents split up, when he was a kid, his brother and him went to live with his grandma. His grandma lived in Canada.
Okay.
So Jimmy spent a lot of his youth in Canada. Like up until around when he went back to Seattle to join in the army.
Yeah, yeah, GOB. It might have been a Swin. Definitely a chopper. Had the ape handlebars up here. Had the banana seat. Ah, those were the good old days.
Yeah, I had both a banana seat when I was little. Then I graduated to the 10 speed and then the 15 speed and then the 15. Now I
I
have
get
balance issues and I can't ride a bicycle.
yeah, yeah. With our knees, neither of us can do it.
It's not just the knees. I have trouble with my equilibrium sometimes. So I'd have too much trouble with that.
Gee, I'm sorry, I never kept it, GRB. Back then, I was a grown up. I got a 24 speed. No, at the time I upgraded to a 3-speed. That was my first multi-gear bike at a 3-speed. And that was before I upgraded to the 24-inch 10-speed. Because I was always short until I was in my upper teens, and I grew a little to a whopping 5'8". So 24-inch bikes still are a little tall.
I posted a link to the Jimi Hendrix Shrine in Vancouver.
Okay.
I would walk
Got it.
past this place quite a bit on my way home from playing the club downtown. Okay? Like
Jimi
I
Hendrix Shine. Oh yeah.
and it's in that shrine building is where his mother used to work.
Okay.
They're the only two buildings left of the black community.
Nora Hendrix and Lucille. Lucille.
Okay, they closed down all of the black community to build a highway. And those were the only two buildings that were not involved in it. I know the highway well. I
Cool.
know where Jimmy's mom's place would have been. I mean, like his grandma's place, where she lived. It's no longer there. Those are the only two buildings left.
I do miss being able to ride a bike though. That used to be so much fun. But now we ride the Can-Am Spider and that's a lot of fun too, so.
Yeah, my girlfriend and I used to walk by that place all the time.
Yeah, we used to go walking and doing things like that.
But that area is
We got to do it more.
a very dangerous area. Okay, like it's not a cool area to be.
Not a good neighborhood anymore.
not a good neighborhood. Like, uh, like about 3 blocks up is Main Street and Hsif, which is known as like the poor homeless area.
Oh,
Okay, so it's like, yeah. But it used to, like the black community used to be next to the Chinese community. Okay, they saved Chinatown, but they didn't save the black community. Okay, but now Chinatown is basically all white. Okay,
yeah. The, the neighborhoods are shifting all over the place.
well, and when you see the price tag of properties in Vancouver, nobody can afford that anymore. I used to live there. I couldn't afford that, even if I went to working. That's why a lot of the big rock stars moved out to Alberta because it
Oh,
was
well,
more affordable.
and the price of housing in general has gone up everywhere, and incomes have not.
Exactly.
And it's ridiculous. And who
Mhm.
they expected it to be living there?
Well, it's like, and then you get into the side effects of, you know, the depression of that, the mental. Like I've been there. I went through a fire and I was homeless for like a year. So I've been there.
Oh, yes. I had slept on Larry's couch for how many months, and my sister's for a month
Yeah.
before I was able to find a new apartment.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's how I met her, on my couch.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was interesting. Her sister is my housemate, and Jen was looking for an apartment and didn't have one and needed a place to stay. So was staying at uh, my housemate's extra apartment that she was trying to get rid of. Finally got rid of it, so Jen needed some place to stay and stayed on my couch. But I wasn't aware of this beforehand. My housemate brings in this girl, sits her in the on the couch and says, here's the remote for the TV, and then walks away and doesn't introduce me. I'm like 10 feet away from this girl, and I have no idea who she is. So I walked over, introduced myself, started talking to her, and didn't move for another hour and a half. I stood there having this wonderful conversation with this girl, and well, after a
But
couple of weeks, I asked her out.
but at least Vancouver has got all nightly bus runs. You take the bus. I take after work, right?
Yeah.
Like getting away from it all, like just walking down by the river. You know, like that area of Vancouver became like parts of it became Expo 86 area. So it's kind of a cool area in ways. Like they've tried to do things in that area.
Yeah.
But you cannot tear down the historical buildings either.
No.
Right?
Nah, historical society will stop that.
Yeah. So
Okay, I gotta go to bed and take some meds for my arm.
Yes,
It's been hurting.
for me to call the end of the stream. I need to be up for a morning appointment again.
Oh, you got a tele-appointment?
Yeah, telephone appointment in 6 hours.
Okay. I'll text you when I wake up.
Okay. I'm probably not to be here though.
Yeah, I should get going here too. Thanks.
Well,
Are you going to Donald's?
yes.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
but thank you everybody who came in tonight. Please hit the like button on the way out.
Thanks, Joy.
I'll be streaming again tomorrow night. Thank you again, all the people who talked in chat, GRB, Travis, Patty,
Sean, Patty,
Alex, uh, Griffin was here,
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey Watts, yes,
Yeah, Fisherman was here for a bit.
Lauren,
So we
Ian,
had some good people on. And if you're still here, please remember to hit the like button.
and
And we have a
that's
cat.
my cat saying it's time for the end, Mom.
Rex. I recognize
Have
that
a good night,
Sprigtail.
everybody.
Good night. Bye, kids.